Relationship is like a ship with two captains. Two captains on a ship is not easy going, and if care is not taken, such a relationship can sink. Because there will be series of arguments concerning which direction to follow. And each one would always want to be the right one. Always wanting to be in control and not wanting to be subdued. It becomes even more difficult when the responsibility of steering the relationship towards the right course is left for one to handle. Remember, it takes two to tango and one to untangle. Relationship calls for an even participation, or else one will feel emotionally abused and the other might have the sense of being used. Have you ever been in a relationship or relationships that drive you so badly that all you wanted to do was to lie on a bed of thorns and just cry your heart out every day? And each tear that fell from your eyes only reminded you of how much you had invested in that relationship. And at the end, what you got in return is what Nikki calls a grand piano. Oh yeah, you had been played and your being so beautiful was taken for a fool. You always woke up as early as 12 a.m. to compose beautiful messages to celebrate his or her birthday. But when your own day arrives, he or she doesn't remember. Still, you did forgive. Your heart so compassionate still forgave. You are so understanding that even when he or she stood you up on that date, you muffled, "It's okay," and missed tears. When he or she called, not to apologize but to give you flimsy reasons why he or she couldn't show up. To think that you are the one who missed your brother's graduation just to be with him or her after the thieves broke into his or her house is so unfair. After all, you said to yourself, better to go to a house of mourning than to go to a house of feasting. Ecclesiastes chapter 7 verse 2. The devil must have had a good laugh when your lover didn't show up while you were bedridden for days. You wanted to break up. Your friends supported it. But just as the lyrics of Selena Gomez's song, the heart wants what it wants. And so you watched yourself like that movie you dislike forgiving him for the umpteenth time. Was it becoming an obsession? This you were not sure. So you had to see the therapist, or was it a counselor? No one brought you cure. You took to sleeping pills after work so you won't have to lay in the dark and think. But even in your dreams, he or she appeared, and your arms were once more open, wide, saying, "Welcome, my dear." You took a trip to a far, far away land as an escape route from your anguish, but you see, pain cannot be chased with distance, and that you later learned anyways. People kept on saying, "Are you fine?" And of course you lied. Never been better. You even managed to fake a smile, and you kept on hoping things would just fall in the right places and everything would be fine. Hope became like a liar because nothing ever became right. But child of God, you've forgotten something. I think you must have unintentionally left it on your way to board the relationship. It is understanding, because when you find the love that is new and seems to be true, we naturally tend to forget our first love. We have to be reminded constantly what happens when the alarm that rings, "Love your Lord your God with all your heart," gets broken, and you had no time to fix it because you had the children's lunchbox to fix and school fees to think of, which of course are necessary amenities. But note this: any relationship that doesn't carry the creator of the seas, the creator of the world, sails in vain. Try harder. You can go ahead and double the effort of making a better relationship, but people won't still treat you any better because you have forgotten something. And what is that? It is the knowledge of God's promise to his children. He is the one who wipes away tears. Revelation chapter 21 verse 4. You forgot to allow God have His way. He is capable of making you blossom in whatever weather, like flowers in May. What God just wants you to say, and what He just wants to hear from you, is to take the wheel. Take it from my hand, because I can't do this on my own. He is always a nest for those who seek to rest. Matthew chapter 11 verse 28. And if you are one who wished for Cinderella's happily ever after, then heavenly help has come, because God is always your knight in shining armor. You grew up hearing old bones can't be made straight again, and so you accepted your fate, like an injured man without a good Samaritan. God is here today to heal you and save you from those who are unknowingly, slowly slaying you. There's this Sunday school song that sings of Jesus being in the boat. His being in the boat gives assurance such that you can even smile at the storm. So my dear, even in your defeat, you are still victorious, because God has fought the ultimate battle for you. Show me what He cannot do, and I'll show you a prayerless and faithless Christian. You being a child of God doesn't mean you automatically gain access to everything you want. No. You have to ask. Matthew chapter 7 verse 7. He always knows your heart, but you give Him reverence when you are able to go on your knees. But this time you are not begging anybody in your life not to leave. But you are doing this because you need all things bright and beautiful in your life. Go ahead and plead for favor in your life. And my dear, you watch how the messages that you never got for your birthday will start flowing in. And when you get sick, even strangers will send you flowers with cards reading, "Get well. Our world needs your kind to survive." Have you given the keys to the only capable captain? Are you in doubt of His capability? Matthew chapter 8 verse 13 is a living proof that those who believe in God are saved by faith from every form of destruction that may disguise itself as love. So just believe. At the moment you realize that you did everything you could, you talked, explained, demanded attention from the other person, when you realize that your investment turned into insistence, that you as a person has no importance for the other one, and it's time to back down. Sometimes we have to stay in hurt so that some things can work. Once you stay quiet, still, and wait to see if what you planted is going to flourish or not. In this case, concerning relationships, maybe it's time to disappear. Stop calling, texting, stop following on social media or physically. It's not easy, and your heart won't suddenly convince itself that maybe it has no future. But you need to control your impulses. It's not easy, but it is necessary at this time. It's time to back off. At this point, you'll be able to see the person. The person knows where to find you but doesn't care about it. If they mend your qualities and virtues but doesn't value it, allow yourself to stop hearing so much no's that tired your spirit already. Give yourself time to see if the person got used to your presence. And because of this, you don't see a smile anymore when you show up. You'll notice if they didn't get along with you enough. You realize if you always gave you doubt instead of assurance. If you have walked together, see if he or she has forgotten how good your company is and still have chosen to live without you. You should be missed for a while. I know it's risky, but you have to be cautious if you're living in an illusion. And if you are, You need to have the courage to get rid of it. Life is much more than what your illusions determine. There are tons of wonderful people out there searching for somebody just like you. We need to have the courage not to suffer, because if you face the reality and move forward, you'll suffer less. Life goes on, while we insist in desiring somebody who's gone. Because while we are spoiling and checking them on Instagram or WhatsApp, life keeps going on. Interesting things are being left behind. Leave the scene, disappear, invest in yourself. Change your look, your habits, hang out with friends, travel alone, study something new, hold on to God and try to get to know Him, and find God inside your heart. Read new books and watch different movies. If you used to act insecurely, inconveniently, obsessively, get rid of these aspects. We must all search for self-confidence. Self-love is a key for a good relationship with people. If this person is really into you, if this is only a crisis, a self-understanding moment, a pause in order to fix everything when you are looking down on yourself, you'll see. He or she will come after you. Their feelings will connect to yours, and you both start walking in the same direction. But if nothing happens, if they don't miss you, have in mind that this is the best thing that could have happened. Because what you thought existed, actually it does not. Do you understand? If what you're living is an illusion, I have a short story that could picture pretty well this moment in your life. Once upon a time, there was a bear. He used to walk through the forest. He was hungry, and it was a scarcity moment. Suddenly, he started to smell something really good that led him to an empty camp. The smell was coming from a huge pan burning upon a fire pit. He grabs the pan with both hands, throws his head inside it and started to eat the food that was inside. He realized that he was feeling such a pain. His paws, chest and other parts of his body were being burned by the heat of the pan. The bear had never felt that and interpreted that pain as something that was trying to get the food from him. So he started to mow loudly, and the more he hurt, the tighter he grabbed the pan. And the more pain, the more screaming. The more pain, the tighter he held him. When the hunters came back to the camp, they found the bear leaning against a tree near the pit. The burns were so hard on him that it made the pan stick on his body. Even that, he had a wrong face expression. This is what we do with the things we consider important. We hug tightly, even though it brings us pain and death, for this reason, to be happy. Sometimes you need to have the courage to let it go. So let's have the courage the bear didn't have. Let's see what the bear didn't see. Let's drop the pan and let's drop the pain. Thank you. Everything has its season in your life. Nothing was made to last forever. The things in your life, the people in your life, and even the circumstances you're in will not last forever. Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, it says that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under heaven. Nothing has a forever stamp in your life, but everything and everyone serves a purpose. To teach you a lesson or to be a blessing. The things you have been through, the things you are going through, they serve a purpose. And when that purpose is accomplished, it comes to an end. Just like going through college. You go there to get a degree, and when that purpose is achieved, your college days end. There is no sense in going to college for a degree you already have. And in the same vein, when a thing, when a person, when a relationship, when a situation has accomplished its purpose in your life, to give you a lesson, to give you a blessing, it will come to an end. And now you've gotten the lesson or the blessing, so you no longer need them. And since you're in the school of your own life, you have to graduate yourself to the next level by letting go. You don't need them anymore. Their work in your life is done, and it's time to say adios. Letting go is a step towards progress, not retrogression as it seems like. And when you let go of something or someone, it is a sign that you are going upwards. Gravity works downwards, so as you move higher, things and people you don't need will keep weighing you down and becoming heavier. You have to drop them along the way. Those who intend going very high carry no load. At least, if they carry, it has to be extremely necessary. And so, as you move upward in life, consider it necessary to carry with you only necessary things and people. Drop the weight. Drop the weight that you don't need. You don't need them. And what you don't need becomes a burden to you. And this increases the chances of you dropping necessary things in order to carry things that are unnecessary. Let go because you don't need them anymore. The Bible lets us know of the tendency of holding on to things that we don't need, and that is why it warns us, as a command in Hebrews chapter 12 verse 1. It says that such a large crowd of witnesses is all around us. And so we must throw off everything that slows us down, especially the sin that just won't let go. And we must be determined to run the race that is ahead of us. And I'm going to tell you something. More than just letting go, the Bible says that we should throw off. Stop pampering them and trying to hold on to something that you should throw off. At the top, you need to have only what you need. There is no room for empty, unprofitable relationships in your life. I mean, they may have been important in your life at some point, but now they serve no purpose. They have accomplished their task, and now they need to move out of that space. Your ability to let things go is a measure of how far you're willing to go higher. If you keep holding on to everything, both necessary and unnecessary, the weight will pull you down. Let them go. It's clear that you don't need them anymore. Furthermore, letting go doesn't mean that you're letting go of love, kindness, and compassion. It doesn't mean that by letting go you are holding on to bitterness. It doesn't mean that you are holding on to anger. It doesn't mean that you are holding on to unforgiveness and malice in return. No! To let go means to release from your heart all the negativity that has to do with that person and the relationship you had with them. It also means that you're accepting the fact that it is over and their role in your life is done with. Letting go is choosing peace over drama. Letting go is following God's lead to forget the former things. That's what the scripture says in Isaiah chapter 43 verse 17. God, who is the author and controller of our lives, is in charge of what and who comes in or goes out of our lives. In Ecclesiastes chapter 3, where we see how things start and end, God is in charge of all the orchestration of events. And in verse 5 it says that there is a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. In other words, there's a time to hold on and a time to let go. The time to let go is a time when they no longer serve a purpose in your life. The good thing is that God knows the time for each event in your life, and when it is time to hold on, God will bring the right person for you to hold on to, and He will give you the grace for you to hold on rightly. So also, when it is time to let go, God will show them the door so they can walk out, as they no longer serve His purpose in your life. So when they walk out of your life, let them go. It was God who showed them that door. God knows exactly what He's doing. His blessings can be in the form of subtraction too. When He removes people from your life, it is also a form of blessing that you should align yourself to by letting those people go. Holding on to people who don't serve a purpose in your life anymore is very dangerous to you. the relationship becomes parasitic. They are not giving you anything, but they will be willing to take away from you, just like leeches. Save yourself the stress and let them go. Stop watering a dead flower. Stop trying to make what shouldn't work out. Understand that it is only natural for people to leave your life when they have no place in your life anymore. And this is why dead leaves drop from trees. Their role on the tree was done with, and nature took its course, and the dead leaves dropped. And in the same way, those you don't need in your life will drop. It is the way it should be. It is unwise to try to hold on to them. Rather, consider letting go of blessing. Do the needful, let go of the needless. I'll show you that the fear that you are having right now of losing is invalid. You don't lose by letting go of those you don't need anymore in your life. You gain instead. You gain peace of mind. You gain freedom from all that drama. You gain space to embrace people who actually have a purpose in your life. And ultimately, you are pleasing God. So don't worry. These two, along with other things in your life, are working out for your good. Just like Romans chapter 8 verse 28 says. And so let go, because you don't need them anymore. That time in your life is up. God has blown the final whistle for their stay in your life. So let them go. God bless you.